Welcome to your channel RayofHope, and this is going to be another class for XSS, and we are going to cover DOM based injection. First, I would like to thank you for making us 550 subscribers, more than that actually. So thank you. Do subscribe and like, and if you would have any certain question, feel free to ask me in the comment box. I would be happy to help you, right? Okay, let's go ahead. DOM based injection. When I talk about DOM based, before I'm going to talk about what is DOM based XSS or DOM based cross-site scripting, you should know what is DOM. DOM basically it stands for a document object model. It is a model that browsers use to render a web pages. The DOM represents a web page structure. It defines the basic properties and behavior of each HTML element and helps script dynamically access the modified page content, structure, and style. Confused, right? Okay, let me show you. If I go ahead and this is the web page, right? This is our YouTube channel, right? If I do inspect, right? So, okay. Can you see? One second. Okay. So this page content, this whole, now if we go for this and this directly, we can found, right? You can see, we are getting each page view, right? So this is basically a DOM, right? Understand the basic. It is rendering actually, okay? So that is what I'm going to make you understand about it. Let's get back to our slide. Okay. So you got to know what is DOM actually, right? Now, what is DOM XSS? What is DOM XSS? When we talk about DOM XSS, it's a kind of cross-site scripting attack. It's possible if web application write data to a document model without proper sanitization. The attacker can manipulate the data to include XSS content on web pages, for example, message JavaScript code. So, if I go ahead and show you again, wait 1 second. Suppose over here, if I do inspect, right? If I do just inspect, docu, okay. So if I just do this, document.ready, document.getObject, document.location, right? So basically, and you must have got one question. Why am I even searching document.document, right? Basically, now there is one terminology, right? Which is document. I mean, there is one terminology called sink and source, where the data is stored and what method we are using to get the data, right? You might get confused. Just understand the basic, okay? Not need to worry about. We are going to cover in details actually. So this is DOM, okay? DOM based XSS. If I found over here that in this DOM, right, we found that our search is getting executed in the code, right? So over here in document.object and document.model, we can find and we can try to put the malicious payload. Basically, understand this. There I just talk about common sources again. DOM basically stands for document object model, okay? And XSS stands for we can use the sources and sink to execute the data. And if it is getting executed, where it is getting executed in DOM, the payload that we are going to execute it, we are going to use, it should execute where? It should execute in sink. And how we gonna use it? The source we're gonna use. Okay, understand this. When we talk about, 1 second. When we talk about common sources or sources, right? Basically, sources is one of the JavaScript properties that accept data which is controlled by the attacker is known as source. So before we go ahead and talk about sources, we need to talk about what is sink. Sink. When we talk about sink, every DOM-based XSS vulnerability has two elements: the source of the user input, right? The source of the user input, and the target where this user input is stored or written, right? So See, I have over here, I have mentioned some of the sync. It is not mandatory that there could be only this much sync, but there could be much more as well. It could actually. So when you find something, like when you put the input, right? Like suppose on a website you search something, okay? You found an input over there, search functionality. You search here RayofHope, and that got stored where? That is what written where? Document.write, window.location, document.cookie, document.domain. I mean, it could be what kind of functionality we're trying to access, right? So this is sync. Understand this. This is sync, okay? So now when we talk about sources, right? So in sync, whatever query we have got written, the search functionality, whatever input we try to, right? We will try to source that. It is one of the JavaScript property that accept data which is controlled by the attacker, known as source. For entire location search. Now, look, document.url, document.document URL, location.search, document.cookie, document.reference, Windows name, history post, and local storage and system storage. So we will be using that sync and this source to get the information about the search that we have put, right? Now, we got to know that there is functionality in this application using, what is using? Using DOM. Using DOM actually, right? So this is using DOM functionality. But how you will identify if it is using DOM or not? By looking at this parameter. If your input, it getting written in this like a source and sync or not. So if you found something that over there, the like input is getting written in this, like you can find over here. One second. Okay, you can find over here, right? Document.url, okay, right? This it is getting written over there, right? And if you see that, document.try the subscript port and then script, so it is getting executed between where? In DOM actually, right? So when we are performing the task, we will try to identify the DOM in it, and then based on that we will create a payload that will balance the equation. I mean, that will balance the like code, right? And then we will see if it is getting executed or we are getting the cookie or not, right? The basic only. Now, when we talk about what to identify, it is always about dynamically generated content. Look for pages where user input that dynamically injected into DOM. In DOM actually, again, when I talk about DOM injected, where if it is getting executed in these actually or not. Understand this. In this location. So if it is dynamically getting executed or written in those fields, we can identify or we can try to perform DOM over there. Client side validation exam, how application validates user input if it is done on the client side. JavaScript manipulation, of course, we will have to do. Look for source and sync. Look for common sources and sync in the source code and analyze it. Understand the basic. This is the structure how it works actually. That user is tricked into opening the link and echoing the message you are on the website. So these are some procedure a hacker can use to exploit it. Exploitation technique. Again, payload injection. It is always first you would need to identify that where this functionality or this bug is there, right? Once you identify, then you will do the further enumeration and then exploit it. You will like injecting JavaScript code into whenever DOM element, causing it to execute a victim like on the victim browser. Event listener, DOM manipulation. Again, DOM is all bit. First, we need to see. I mean, if I tell you, one second. If I tell you, we need to analyze DOM. It is all about, if you know how the DOM is written, you are done. If you can understand that how the DOM is written, and then if you are able to craft a payload that can balance the DOM. You can play with you can play with the URL, and you can exploit the DOM actually. See, I am gonna show you practically as well. At this point of time, just understand what is DOM actually. Make sure this common sinks and sources you should remember. These are the some possible locations where there you will find DOM XSS. Okay. Now, impact of DOM. Of course, we already talking about what else we can do. Sensitive data information such as login credentials, personal data, account hijacking, website defacement, malware distribution, and many more. Mitigation of DOM. Again, this is input validation. Of course, it's needed. Output encoding, content security policies, and secure coding practice. There are some basic functionality one needed in order to prevent the DOM actually. Right? Now let's go ahead and perform DOM practically. Okay, just go ahead. Okay, for that, what I'm gonna do, it's got it. I'll be using my port figure. I'm gonna demonstrate you 1 or 2 examples for that. Academy. Again, guys, if you really wanna master the DOM or anything, do solve almost every labs of Portugal. Okay. So basically this is something. Understand the difference actually over here. Access the lab. What they have said, this lab contains a DOM-based XSS or cross-site scripting vulnerability in a search query. Tracking functionality, it uses the JavaScript document.write function which writes data out of the page. The document.write function is called with the data from location.search, which you can control using website URL. To solve the tab, perform OK. Call out script alert function. Okay. So I have this search functionality. So if I just do it's RayofHope. Okay. I just enter search. Okay. I did not get anything, right? What if I'm going to inspect this? You can see, right? Over here, we are getting this RayofHope, right? Is there any other places that we can get RayofHope? But it is not a DOM, right? It just has normal like a HTML code within H1 tab. I need to find something which is good. Okay, yeah. Image.src, right? Over here, document.write, right? You can see. And in this script, our image.source, it is getting executed RayofHope, right? And so what if I edit it, right? If I edit this code with some of the payload that I could have, basic one. Okay, basic one. Again, see over here it is closing. It is closing the previous one, right? And then we use this payload and our successful payload over here for this DOM would be this. Let me show you. Okay, so this is our new payload. Understand the difference. This was the earlier payload, but now this is our new payload. How we did it? By balancing the DOM actually. Okay. Now, if we go ahead and if we execute the same payload over here, what we will be getting? It popped up, right? Understand it? I mean, it shows the over here DOM is getting injected. But if I would say it is you just injected the normal payload, but is it possible? Is it possible that if I do like this only this payload and instead of executing this, if I do this payload, anything happen? Nothing, right? We are getting this. It is not popping up. Understand the difference what I'm trying to say. First, what we have done. We inspect the DOM. Then we craft a new payload based on that DOM. And we inject it over here. And we finally got the answer. Got it? Okay. It might be confusing, but let me solve one more on multi-head. Okay. Basically for that, I'm using multi-head actually, and like what we said, a one-level paid application. You can just download. I have already covered one video how you can access this actually. Owasp broken web application. Right? I have covered one video, so you can just go and watch it. Now over here, Owasp 2013, right? 2013, A1 injection, cross-site scripting A3, DOM, password generator. Okay, so we can see it is generating random password, right? It is generating random password. What if I'm gonna just do because we over here we do not have any input. Can you see? Do we have any input over here? No, right? But what if I'm gonna just execute the same payload over here? See, we haven't got anything. It didn't pop up. But can you see? We got this. It seems like it's a part of code, right? Seems like it's a part of code. What does it mean? Let's inspect that. Only then we can understand about it. Okay. So what I'm gonna do? Inspect it. Okay. See, this is reflecting, right? This is DOM actually. Okay. Now I have to find it. What is that? Alert function. I'm not gonna find all the things. I just find alert. Okay. This was the message we were talking about, right? This was the message we were talking about. Why? Why 1 second? Alert the error plus message. Okay. Understand this now. Alert the error message. And see between this. Understand this. Okay. Can you catch? Okay. So we found the error that this is what it was deflecting, right? This is what it was deflecting. But where is our code actually? Where is this code we were talking about? Where is this code actually? If I see this, right? Yeah, we found that, right? It is our code is still here, right? In the source code, right? And I mean, we can find it. The code is here, right? But it is not getting executed. Our code is here, but it is not getting executed. Why? I mean, can you see? There is an open script, right? And over here, it is a closing script, right? Understand this. Over here, it's an open script, and over here, it's a closing script. That means we are executing our JavaScript code within JavaScript. Do you think it will get executed? No, right? It won't get executed. That means we would need to close the JavaScript first, and we close the script first, right? And then we have to open that. Understand it? Okay. Let's go ahead. So this was the script, right? So what we can do over here, if we do this, and then hit enter, it popped up, right? Again, guys, when I talk about any injection or any HTML injection or anything, or JavaScript or cross-site scripting, DOM, XSS reflecting, stored, or blind or anything, it is a matter of hit and try. You need to understand it, that it is not a kitty game that you just put the code and it will get executed, right? Because even a developer is working on it, right? So you would need to find the way to analyze the code. Only then you can succeed in it. This is all for today. Thank you for watching. If you like the content, do subscribe, like, and share with your colleague. Thank you.